and welcome to Python programming tutorial. Today we'll be covering the following topics: understanding call by value and call by reference, understanding what method does Python follow, and the last one is introduction to loops in Python. So let's begin with understanding call by value and call by reference. In order to understand call by value and call by reference, let's first understand what actual parameters and formal parameters are. Now, actual parameters are the parameters that are passed to a function. For example, when I write a and b, int a and b are my actual parameters that I write in the beginning of my program. What are formal parameters? These are the parameters received by a function. So when I create function add and then assign a value or a variable int x and y, hence a will be referred to x in the function and b will be referred to as y in the function. So these are the parameters that are actually assigned, whereas the function takes another set of formal parameters inside the function. Hence this is actual parameter, that is the one we have created, and formal is one that is taken by the function. Now let's understand what call by value and call by reference is. Call by value is when the actual parameter that we've created will be copied into the formal parameter and the value will be stored in a different location by both the parameters. So let's understand what it is. Int a and int b are my actual parameters. Now when I create a function here, the function that I've created, in that I've created my formal parameters and as x and y. Now when I call by value method is used, the actual parameters, that is a and b, they will be copied into a new location. The new location is what int x and int y are in. So these two are two different locations and the values will be copied and stored in different locations. Whereas in call by reference, when the actual parameter and formal parameter refer to the same location, we can say that the call by reference method was used. So here in call by value, we are copying the values of a and b into the function, whereas in call by reference, the actual parameter and the formal parameter can have whatever values they want, but they will be pointing to the same location. So when we say call by value, the value that we've initially added in the actual parameter will not change, even if the function value, whatever value is in the formal parameter, will be different, can be different, but it will not affect the actual parameter outside the function. Whereas when we say call by reference, the actual parameter and the formal parameter have the same location. So if we are writing a value in actual parameter and then we pass on it to formal and we change something in formal, it will be reflected in the location. So the values will be changed in call by reference because we are looking at the address of the variable, whereas in call by value we are looking just at the value and copying it into a new location. Now that we've understood what call by value and call by reference is, let's see what kind of methodology is Python following. In order to understand how are parameters passed in Python, let's understand what mutable and immutable objects are. Mutable, something that can be changed after creation, whereas immutable are the objects that cannot be changed. So the mutable objects are called by call by value in Python, and whereas immutable objects are called by reference. I hope you can now relate why mutable objects can be passed through call by value, and whereas immutable objects can be passed through call by reference. Hence we can say, as depending upon what kind of object we've created, what value we've assigned, we are passing the argument through it. Hence the name, what we categorize for Python is call by object reference or call by assignment. Now we can see what all are mutable objects and what all are immutable objects. So list, set and dictionary. For those who do not remember what set is, a set is again a kind of data type that we create. Just like dictionary, since dictionary is something that is a sequence, whereas set can be without a sequence. And when we see immutable objects, we can see that the numeric part, string, tuple and frozen set are the immutable objects. Now let's understand loops in Python. We have two loops here, for loop and while loop. For loop, the syntax is for iterating variable. Iterating variable, the variable that will be occurring again and again in a sequence. Then once we've written the statement for iterating variable in sequence, then we give colons, and then we press tab, because in loops, in conditional statements, or in Python in general, indentation is very, very important. If you do not indent your statements, your loop will not function. So let's try out a program using for loop, and let's start coding. Let's create a table of any number that you want. So to create a table, we first take I as 1, because we will give the initial value as 1. Then take n as a value for which you want a table. So let's get that as input. Now input is a function used to get the value from the user, and we ask user to enter the value of n for the table you want to print. Now that we've asked the value of n, let's press enter and print a table of 8. Now that we've entered the value, let's actually create the for loop. So for, now my iterating variable is I here, because it has to add. I will first become 1, it is 1, then it will become 2 and multiply with 8, then it will become 3, multiply with 8, and so on. So this is my iterating variable. For I, then we wrote in is the keyword, and then in space, then I will write, instead of sequence, I have another function that is range, which will have the value from where to where you want your table to print. So I want it from 1 to 10, so I will add an extra value. So this is my for condition. Now that we've entered the value, the for sequence, let's now print what we want. Now again, you see I've given the space here, I've pressed the tab to indent my next statement. I write print and then double quotations, whatever value, whatever variable I want to print, I will print with the help of %d. Now percentage is the word that I'm using, so I use this. This is how my table should look like. That is the reason I am getting it printed like this. You can just write just the answer. Now, closing. This is how my program will come. Now to actually call the values, so my first D will contain n, the number that I 8, that is. Then my second D will contain I 1 2 3 4, and my third D, so my first D will contain n, my second D will contain I, and my third D will contain the multiplication of these two. Hence we'll write n I. So n asterisk I I've written. So these are the three values that we are calling here, and then we close it, and we close both the number of parentheses you are adding are to be closed as it is. You cannot leave any parenthesis open. So now that I've created my program, now let's see what it gives me. It gives me 8 into 1 as 8, 2, 16, 24, 32, and so on. So here this is how we are going to print a table in for loop. Now you can experiment with for loop and be creative and print whatever you want to probably print. Now let's move on to the next loop, that is while loop. Again, for while we are using, instead of any iterating variable, we will use while expressions, and then we give statements here, again using the tab. Now let's see here how will we, let's program and create another table using again the while loop. Now the while loop, I will start I as 1 because I need at least one variable that will multiply. Then we take n as 0 because to begin with we are taking n as 0. We just telling that n is there, and then we again get the input. You need to specify your data type here so that when you input, the Python knows what kind of value you will be inputting. Input, enter the table number. Let's write this. You can write whatever you want it to print on the user screen. So I write this, and I write here, suppose this time I need a table for 12. Then let's write the condition while I is less than equal to 10, right? And then we move on to tab print. We again write the same thing, or we can always write just the answer, but we create that format. And again calling first as n, then calling as I, then calling n into I, closing it, and then we will keep on adding 1 to I for its iteration. And let's get the result, and here we get the table for 12 using the while loop. And that was it for today's class. I hope you've understood all the concepts. Let me know if there are any doubts. Thank you for watching.